Welcome, guys. This is MinecraftingDAD, and welcome to episode number 12 of our FTB Regrowth Modpack series. Let me start over. My computer dinged on me. Let's start over. Error. Start again. Welcome, guys. This is MinecraftingDAD, and this is episode 12 of our Minecraft FTB Regrowth Modpack series. Information on this modpack is available in the video description below. So welcome back, and as always, these episodes are recorded live on Twitch at twitch.tv/MinecraftingDAD. You can find all the information down below. So let's give you an update, and I'll show you kind of what's been going on since the last time we've been here. I've taken the iron and the copper seeds, and I've given them their own little crop areas. As you can see, we've got a full field of iron, we've got a full field of copper. So the first thing we want to do is we want to make sure we can just gather up as many of these as we can. So let's do that real quick. We'll just quickly hold right click and hold the right mouse button, and we just run through the field, and basically what happens is it's going to easily collect up all these items, and we're going to turn this essence in for some of the quests that require iron and copper. Also, at the end of the last episode, we were waiting for the tin seed to be ready to be finished, so let's do that. So let's do one thing at a time here. What we could do is we could take our iron essence and copper essence, and we can turn this into ore. So let's, for example, let's turn in 8 iron ore. That's going to give us, 8 iron essence. It's going to give us 8 iron ore, and if we do the same thing with the copper, you'll see that's going to give us the copper ore. This gives us 6, that gives us 8, but more importantly, we're going to be able to directly smelt this. For now, there isn't any method in order to double it. Like, you're not going to be able to use the Tinker's Smeltery. It doesn't exist. You're not going to be able to use any other method, end your IO. That's not in the pack. But you can directly use, this regular old furnace, and you're going to be able to get, some of this stuff out of the system. So, with that being said, let us smelt some of this up, and then we're going to start using this for some other things that we need. While this is cooking, let's go finish off our other quest, which is over here, and in order to do that, we're going to need our wand, which I happened to put back up here so I knew where it was, and we do need 1 piece of living rock. I think I have quite a few of those, so let's grab that. Let's throw that on top of here. And of course, every single time I go to do this, I always do like something weird, like I'll throw it over it. And there we go. We now have the tin seed. So I actually had already prepared a growth area for the tin seed, but the first thing we need to do is make sure we turn in this quest. So let's go in our book here. What the way the world works. Nope, it's not that one. What the world is made of. There it is. And here is our tin seed quests. Right there. So 100% claim a reward. I think in this case we'll just grab the additional seeds. There we go. And we can now turn this quest in. So I've already prepared this crop. So this is basically what you want to do if you're looking to make a crop here. I use 5x5s. You can easily do 3x3. You can easily do 2x2. It's up to you. But this is how you do it. You set one of the agricultural stick crop things 1 time in the corner and then 2 times everywhere else. And what happens is, so for example, like this, if you guys haven't seen any of the earlier episodes, you get basically double it like that. And now this is going to have a chance to grow over there. So there we go. Now we have this particular crop field ready to go. Alright, so let's go grab our iron and all that stuff. Also, did we open up any more quests by doing that? Let's take a look. Okay, so I don't see anything in here. Unlocks 2 quests elsewhere, unlocks quests elsewhere, and completed ender seeds and unclaimed reward. Ooh, that's good. Do we want the dye seed? We don't really need any. We'll just take the extra weak essence. And I guess we'll just throw that dye seed up here, and we'll basically store this extra weak essence down here. We've got 32 of them in there, and I'm sure we can use that as needed. But let's see here. So you can see now we have 16 iron and we have some copper. So one of the first things I'd like to do is get myself a bucket. And there you go. So now we have ourselves a bucket. And good. So now what we're going to do is start looking at the extra quests so we could see what other quests we have in this book that we were unable to do before but that we can do now. So let's see. Alright. So I'm going to eliminate that little ding that you just heard. So I'm going to repeat what I just said. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to go and see what quests are in the book that we can complete. So let's go take a look through the book and see if there's any in here. So let's look at the first one. I don't see anything new there, although I will point out that we're only 95% complete. So there is some secret quests that we need to uncover at a certain point in time. The other thing that we want to keep an eye on is, let's see, those maybe, we'll open those up when we won't even know it. So we can kind of go back and double check to see, if those open up with something else. So number 2 is what we were just in. Nothing is new here. We've did everything we could possibly do, except for you can make more iron and this stuff, but there's really no need to do it anymore because we have all the crops. So it basically becomes unnecessary. The way the world works, which is number 3, this now allows us to make, let's see, some mana steel. So just to give you an idea of how this works, and I did do a little bit of preparation, but let's go and actually make a piece of mana steel here. So you take a piece of regular steel and you throw it into the mana pool, and there you go. Now you've created some mana steel. So I did a little bit of work ahead of time just to get us moving through the game here. But so what we'll do is we'll now grab this mana steel ingot. That's going to give us more day blooms. It's also going to give us a mana tablet and some hydrangeas. We've already been using them because we found them just naturally. But let's grab it. Let's also grab some of these day blooms. What this is going to do for us, this is going to allow us to basically almost double our mana, input here. We see how many we have so far. What I'm going to do is I'm thinking probably just make a whole nother field of the flowers over here. It may not be the most convenient place, but we could shoot it over to that over there. So let's basically grab some dirt out of here or somewhere. We have to have some dirt around. Maybe we have dirt in one of our chests here. Let's take a look. Oh, we do. 58 dirt in there. Let's grab the dirt and let's figure out how we can configure another area over here. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're just kind of basically going to add in another area here. We need to make 16 spots for this. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, and 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So this is going to give us 16 spots to basically gather up the more mana from, and then we'll just stick the mana spreader somewhere in the middle. So let's take these guys and just kind of spread them out. This is going to collect more mana, and believe me, we're going to need all of this mana. Every possible bit of it that we can gather, we're going to need all of it. So it seems like it's in excess, but it's really not. Alright, so in this, we're going to need to create another one of those guys right there. I should have some more wood. Let's go see. Maybe I moved that over to here inadvertently. Oh, there we go. Living wood. So we do have some more. So let's make one more of those. We'll just grab one flower over here. Which is it a flower? I think it's just a seed, right? We just need one of these. Just like that. Okay. And let's make ourselves another mana spreader. Just like that. We now have another mana spreader that we can stick right. Is that the ideal place for it? I'm not 100% certain. I think it looks pretty good. And we'll try that and see. Alright, so now that we've got that in position, what we want to do is we want to take our wand and we want to point it. We want to point that towards this mana there. So I think that's close enough. And you can see now we've got 3 sources of mana generation. And there is another way that we can make more mana generation. So one of the cool ones, it's not necessarily in our quest line, but if we're looking to generate mana, we can create what's called the endotherm, I think it's called, right? This guy. Endoflame. And the endoflame is simply something we can make on the runic altar, or it can be made in the petal apothecary with brown, red, and light gray. I think I have some light gray over here. I thought I did. I might not. But did we use all of that? Maybe we stuck some in here? We have brown. We don't have any light gray? Seriously? Alright, what we'll do is we'll have to come back to that at a later time. Because we don't have any light gray. And I know we were actually getting ready to work on it. But we're not going to have that until these basically crossbreed over here. Oh, we do. What is this? Mystical gray and white. I don't think I started to breed these guys yet. So we need to go... We need to go from the gray to the white, and that's going to make the light gray. So if we break this guy, and let's see, do I have any more sticks on me? I do. Okay. We want to make a light gray, and I'll show you this recipe inside of NEI. So if we want to make a light gray crop, you'll see that here, this guy. What we need to do is combine a gray mystical flower seed and a white flower seed. So if you look right here, we've got the gray flower seed and the white flower seed, and this is going to combine to make the light gray. And that's basically what we're going to use in order to complete the to be able to make the more light gray flowers, because we used so many in some of our rune making earlier. Alright, so let's go and look at some of the next quests. Oh, actually no, we got this reward, right? The mana tablet. So if we want to be able to charge up our mana tablet, this is how you're going to be able to do this. You can basically throw this on top of the mana pool, and now you can see if we right click on the mana pool with our wand, it now says it's sparing mana to items. So it's actually charging the mana tablet, and we're going to get into this a little bit later on. And what this is going to allow us to do is basically use some of the stored mana with the mana tablet, and there's a lot of different cool things you can do with it. But without breaking progression, I don't want to speak too much about it until we get to those actual quests. So for now, I'll store the mana tablet in here. Now I do have the other reward that we had just recently received is called the Hydrangea. And if we go and grab our book here, I'll show you guys a little trick. Grab the book, go over to the flower and hit shift. You can see it opens up the book, and it says wild passive mana can be easily achieved through day blooms. Different means of doing so might come in handy. A Hydrangea will suck up any still water in a 3x3 area, and it kind of gives you a little bit of an explanation about it. I happen to find some of those Hydrangeas naturally, and you can see I've already set up these guys to do their business. And what they're doing is it's basically just drinking the water from this infinite water source, and it's providing the mana to this mana spreader and hit sending it into there, which is awesome. So we're already using a Hydra or that kind of setup. I think we just probably would need to expand it, you know, to put another Hydra or whatever you call this thing. I don't even say that. Hydroangius. Say that 3 times fast. I would have to put another one of those here and also here and make a 3x3 pool, and then we would be good to go. So we are good. Alright, so let's go and check and see. Did that open up any other quests for us? Nothing there directly. It says here we could create this, but this one wants us to make a whole bunch of runes. I don't think we're prepared for that. Looking at some of the recipes for these guys, like for example, the Rune of Fire, if we look at that, you'll see that this is going to require some work, and I'm not sure that we're actually ready for this yet. This is going to require some nether brick, gunpowder, and nether wart. We're just not at that point yet, so let's just avoid that quest and move on to the next set. So we did the way the world works. Let's see what the world teaches. This wants us to build... I did everything else. This wants us to make a book in order to complete a quest. Feeling salty. The only thing you found outside the wasteland is the ocean. From what you can see, there's still some living, surviving things down there. It may be wise to read up on the sea and some of the ways it is employed. I'm not the biggest fan of mariculture, but in order to complete the quest, let's make this book. It's called The Factory, and in order to get the factory book, let's take a look at NEI and see how this is supposed to be made. So it actually wants us to make an iron wheel. Okay, so this is why we didn't make this before. It wants a half slab and 4 pieces of iron and simply a book. So let's see, do we have any half slab? We do. So let's grab a half slab, and we do have the iron already. And the only other thing we need is a book, which I think I have one here. There we go. So let's make what's called the iron wheel. There we go. And let's combine that with the book. And somehow we didn't even complete this. We've already got the recipe because the game gave it to us. So GG on that one. And now we can collect the reward. So what I've been doing with these books is I've actually been storing these guys along with these experience seeds. I've been storing this stuff up in here except for that. So as we've gained these little experience drops, they're going to be used later on, but we store our books over here on the bookshelf, and we've got a whole bunch of mariculture books that I'm a fan of mariculture. It's not something that I'm gonna want to get into unless I absolutely have to. I can show you what I've done so far with mariculture, and thus far with mariculture, the only thing I've done is a little bit of the fishing. As you can see over here, I've got some fishing rods, and I've got some of that stuff, and a snorkel. This is pretty much the extent of my mariculture experience. So we're going to try to avoid that as much as I can until a later time when I'm forced to do it, you know. So we'll get back to that. So let's see what the world enables. That was what the world teaches. So what the world enables. This wants us to make a few different things. One of them is called Big Daddy. This says a snorkel works well enough but lets you stay underwater longer, but you only have enough time to grab 1 or 2 things. This is basically wants us to make a diving suit. So let's go and look at NEI. Let's take a look at some of these guys. So the diving items. So this wants us to make a diving helmet. Hey, that's easy enough. It's just a piece of glass and some copper, and you basically come up with a helmet. It also wants us to make a diving suit. That's a problem. We don't have leather. So, being that that's the case, let's skip that particular quest. We can do this one, which I feel is probably going to be important here. So, mixing things up. Seeing the way lava and water react with each other leads you to try to develop a controlled environment for mixing substances. You think a vat made of copper is exactly what you need. So this wants us to make a vat. So let's take a look at the recipe for the vat, and you'll see that this is going to require us to just basically make 7 copper. We do have plenty of that. So let's go and make ourselves a vat. And that was simple enough. Alright, so let's go find ourselves a place to put the vat. I think what we're going to do is I'm going to basically reorganize the land out here, and I'm going to basically claim this for for putting the vat in our metal processing, it's just going to be easier on us to have this area set up here. So let's just clean up this little bit. And what I'll do is I'm going to place down the vat here. So give me a few seconds to do that, and we'll come right back.
Welcome back, guys. What I've done is I've taken some time and I've worked on getting the vat in place. We've cleaned up the exterior of our building here. We're going to make this into a little processing area. So because I know that the vat is used to make some burnt bricks, which we have in here, we need those for some recipes. I've kind of looked ahead a little bit. But just so what I did is I also made some fluid tanks in order to store some lava and make things a little bit easier, because I looked at the recipe for the burnt brick, and you can see the burnt brick is here. In order to make a burnt brick, you have to put it into the vat, and I just kind of did some work on that because I looked at the quest, and let's go back and turn in this one here, which is going to give us 4 lava clay buckets and some burnt bricks. Alright, so now we have that, and this is going to allow us to, let's see, what's the next quest we can look at? So this one, we have a couple different choices. One of them is called Tuhljin back. This one wants us to make obsidian, and one of the more vague memories of before is the existence of other dimensions. The only one you can recall is a crucible of fire you take into thinking of as the nether. So we have to make obsidian. We'll look at that in a second, but let's start looking at a way in order to process some of our ores. This is going to actually help us to go down that road. I want to get my bricks out, but that's okay. In order to get the bricks out of here, we've got to finish off that. Let's see. What I did is I kind of went ahead and I started to cook up some of these bricks because I know we'll need them. Hopefully that gets rid of everything. So let's take a look at the next recipe in our questing book. It wants us to make a crucible, 2 crucibles. So let's look at the recipe for the crucible and see what it takes in order to make this. So we probably are going to, what I'm going to probably do is here, let's work through this. So we need some lava in a bucket. That's actually pretty straightforward. We have that. We need some fluid tanks. I guess it says it wants them to be empty. So let's go look at making some fluid tanks. I think I might need some more copper. I think I do have a fair bit here, so let's do that. We need a piece of glass. And we need, what else we need for the tanks? Let's take a look at this. We also need some wood. So I don't think I have any wood on me here. Let's take a look. Oak wood planks. There we go. We'll grab some wood. And let's make ourselves some more tanks. Looks like I need 1 more piece of wood. There we go. And we need some copper. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. There we go. So we got ourselves 4 tanks. And what else do we need here? So we need some burnt bricks, which we have. And we also need some of the silicon carbide, which is going to be used to make heating components. So let's take and combine these to make some heating components. Now, how we make the heating components, like I said, was from silicone, and that's a combination of sand, clay, and some coal. You have to make 12 of those in order to make the heating elements. Then now, at this point, we need 1 brick construction, which is 4 burnt bricks and some iron bars. I do have some iron bars prepared. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, and add some of those guys. And now we have our brick. So now if we combine those, we go like that. Double check the recipe one more time. Burnt brick and this guy at the top. 1 tank and 2 burnt bricks. There we go. We now have made our first crucible furnace. It wants us to make 1 more of those. So the question is, do we have enough supplies here to do this? I know it's going to be pretty close. What else do we need for these guys? It is clay. Actually, we don't have enough clay to do this. We're going to have to gather up some more supplies. So what the plan is going to be, I'm going to go and gather enough supplies to make our second crucible, and I'm going to do that here. But let's do this. What is our plan? You're going to have to wait until the next episode. Like, subscribe, and leave a comment, and you can also watch my live streams on twitch.tv/MinecraftingDAD. If you get a chance, definitely want to come over and say hello, and we will see you next time, guys.